Hello everybody, and this is the PE department, the gym in MSF, and I just want to show you some new equipment that we have purchased for both students and staff. It's part one of our plan to get aerobic fitness equipment into this mezzanine area, and we're particularly starting off with cycling. The reason why we're starting off with cycling is I've cycled all my life, still cycle today, and I know the benefits that cycling brings to people's health and fitness. One of the main advantages is that this is a non-impact fitness equipment. What do I mean by non-impact? Well, if you were to choose running as your method of training, running is a high-impact method of training. What that means is every time you run, you strike your foot to the ground, you put shock through your joints, through your ankles, knees and hips. And some people, when they're maybe carrying, when they're overweight, it's not the most ideal way to begin training and start getting weight control. So cycling is also very, very good for teenagers. We are aware that some teenagers grow with pains in their knees, they have growing problems, and running also causes them some discomfort. So the cycling equipment was purchased, and one of the advantages of using this particular pieces of equipment is that rather than stationary bikes, is that these are actually road bikes, so we can remove these bikes from the trainer. It's a very, very simple process. We can put a wheel back on the bikes and then we can actually take them outside. So these are actually multi-purpose. We can't do that with something like a Peloton bike or with a lifestyle stationary bike. So it covers many advantages for us and allows us to get many benefits from the investment that the school has made. Okay, so I'll show you the setting up. Okay, so one of the first things you need to know is when you choose to do some training is that you have to make sure that the equipment fits you. So we've purchased 3 different sizes of bikes. We have a small here, and we have extra smalls on the walls. Some of the bikes, I think this one here is an extra small, and they're suitable for our grade 6 students and maybe sort of people around about 155 centimeters. So from extra small to small, this will go up to around about 165 to, about 165. And these are mediums. The mediums are very, very useful bikes because it allows us to cover a great deal of range on the bikes of like size. So putting the seat all the way down and all the way up to its maximum point, which is there, we get a huge range of people that this bike can cater for. If we have some really tall people, we still have the ability to get 2 more bikes, so we can move into a large and an extra large if that is necessary. How do we choose the height of the bike? Well, I personally ride a medium. What I would do is, I would first of all take an Allen key, but we're going to change this. So we're going to move this into quick release, so this is just temporary. We'll change this in the next couple of weeks. So you have to undo this nut there. It shouldn't be too tight. Put it at the size that you think it may be suitable, so maybe it's similar to the bike that you ride already. Just tighten it up slightly. It doesn't have to be particularly tight, just a slight nip. And then what you're looking for is when you get onto the bike, when you've got your heel on the bike and you're at your lowest point, you have a slight bend in the knee. Now, looking at this is more than a slight bend, this is too much. So I need to put the seat up. So I get back up the bike. So this is about the height that I know that I normally ride this bike. So when I get back on the bike, the height is going to be more suitable for me. Also, you need to make sure that your seat is aligned with the bike as well. Don't have it crooked because that'll cause some discomfort if you're on a longer ride. So when I get on the bike now, notice when I'm getting on the bike, I'm not putting my foot here. Okay, we don't want people trying to get onto the bike like this because we'll end up catching the frame and scratching the paint. So put your hand on the seat, swing your leg over the top, and if you want to, you can stand here and just get onto the pedal and then into the seat. So now when I put my heel onto the bottom this is perfect. So I've got a slight bend in my knee, and this indicates, it's a quick indication that I'm at the right height. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is obviously we don't ride on our heels. We want to ride on the balls of our feet. This is where the best power transfer comes from. It puts your leg at the best angle to prevent any discomfort to the knee. So this is where we want to be riding. Unlike some of the bikes you may be used to at home, this is a road bike. And the most comfortable position on a road bike is to ride on these grips here on the hoods. There are options to ride like this as well, but here is convenient because this is where you change the gear. So this is where we change gear on the bikes, and it's necessary to change gear when we're riding. Okay, let me just talk quickly about the changing of the gears. So as I'm riding here, if I find that the gearing is too hard, I have a couple of options. So I can, on the right hand side, I have a paddle that I can press up and I get an easier gear. Okay, if I find that this is actually too easy, there is a button on this side which I use my finger for, and I press, and it's a swift press and the gear will change. Okay, now I'm going to put the gear up one more time. So one thing which we can hear now is that there's this grinding noise. This is telling me now I need to make some adjustments on this side. So on this side I've got an adjustment to adjust into an easier gear at the front, and if I press the button here, the grinding noise goes. If it is too hard, and I've used all my gears on the right hand side and there's no easier gear to go on, I can press this again, and I then change the gear on the front of the bike to the smallest cog, and this would enable me to go up hills, or just if the effort was too much, to go on to make it easier for me. And this is the lowest possible gear that I'm on now. So just to recap, to go down the gears, to go faster, or to go if you're going down a hill, press the button here, and the gear will change. There's that grinding sound again, so now I can trim the gears. It's called trimming the gear. I just press that once, and that trimming noise goes. Back up the gears, so press the paddle here. Trim the gear one more time to make it nice and smooth. So this is far too easy. And the reason why it's easy is because I'm going downhill, which I'll explain the software in a moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change to a harder gear. So I'm going to go down by pressing the button. And now I'm going to go into the big cog using the left hand gear. And I'll go all the way across, a very positive press, and now I'm in the higher gears. And now I can start making some speed. So this is on maximum gears, there's no more gears to use. And now I'm going up a hill, so I need to change. So I quickly press the paddle. If it's still too hard, using this side, go onto the small chain ring at the front. And all the way back to the easiest gear. Okay, so just to recap, what do I need to know about gears? So the thing which is really important about the gears is find something that is comfortable for you to use. We want it to be quiet as well. We don't want that grinding noise which can come from a badly selected gear. So if it's the easiest gear which you can get is by pressing the button on this side to go onto the lowest chain ring here. So the small chain ring at the front and the big chain ring at the back. So what this does is create almost like a 1-to-1 ratio. In fact, I think this is less than a 1-to-1 ratio. By pressing the button though, if I want to go faster, this allows the gear to change to a higher or a faster gear. And you can see as I change, it goes down. Let's just go back up again and down. So it's good to get used to just changing the gears, don't panic too much, but one thing which I would say is that you have to give very positive pressing of the lever, so don't half press it all the way across, and the gear change will be smooth. So one more time, quick, press across, and it's smooth. Okay, so I want to go to the big chain ring. It's a very quick and positive press, all the way across. If I don't do it positively, you'll end up in... It does change nicely, but we want to make it quiet. So nice positive press. Okay, so starting from the top, when I approach the bike, so I've got my bike set up, I'm happy with the gears, I'm changing my gears nicely, quite happy with that. What's the software I'm using? Well, we have two choices here. I'm going to show you through Rouvy AR first, which stands for Rouvy Augmented Reality. There's a lot of YouTube videos about Rouvy, and we've chosen it because of its ability to allow you to cycle around the world. So you can choose courses around the world. I think there's over 7,000 kilometers of courses that you can choose in various parts of the world with various difficulties. So you need to use the computer here, and you click on Rouvy, and the program will start. Okay, so here's the start screen for Rouvy. The thing that we want to be looking at here is our MSF user ID. So in here, this is a MSF user profile. It's going to be suitable, this profile, for many different heights and many different weights. So the thing that's really important here is being able to choose the weight that is suitable for you. And the reason for this is because this is smart equipment. So the Elite trainer here that we're using is smart equipment. It calculates the amount of resistance it's going to offer you on the bike in accordance with your weight. So if you have the wrong weight in here, if we have the wrong weight, we may find that it's far too difficult for us to ride, or if we have the weight that we have the too little weight, it's going to be too easy. So we want to try to make the weight appropriate for us. So the first thing we want to do is change the weight. So that's okay for me. I'll just change it for myself. So that would be for me. My height is 180. Don't worry about FTP, okay? That stands for Fundamental Training Power. It's nothing that you need to be aware of just yet. If you are interested, have a read up on what it means on the internet. You can edit the model here as well. So if you don't want to be a butch male rider and you're a female, you can choose the gender here. So you can choose both gender, and you can choose colour of the kit that you're wearing. So if somebody else is riding with you with exactly the same colour kit, so to avoid confusion, you can change colours, and you can change style as well. Okay, but let me just put it back to, for me, that's fine for me. Close all the windows, close the windows, and you get back to the area here. The next screen I want to show you is how do we choose our course? Where are we going to train? So when we change route, we get a lot of recommendations across the top. So the first one is actually recommended courses, and these are the ones that people have rated the highest. So these are highly rated 5-star courses. But if there's somewhere particular that you want to ride, you can search for a place in here and type it in, or you can browse for it across the top. Okay, so to choose your route, here we have the ability to change the route. There's lots of options across the top which you can explore. Recommended ones which are 5-star. So if you look at recommended, these are the ones that users of Rouvy have recommended for other users to use. Things that may be of interest if you're new, you can see that there is flat climbs here. So by choosing some of the flat climbs, you might find something that is none too challenging and allow you just to get used to using the software. If you do want a good workout, we have climbs, but I would recommend you just have a search through. We have short rides, so 12.5 kilometers, 9.4 kilometers, all the way down to 3 kilometers. So that's very useful to know about. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to choose a route that I've set up on the other machines here, and it's Capta Formento, and it's this one. So when you want to choose a route, you can have a look at what information it tells you. So it's 11 kilometers long, the maximum gradient is 10%, the average gradient is 2, and we're going to choose this one. And when you're happy to go, you just click start. A couple of things to mention before riding the bikes. You should have a towel, so please bring a towel when you're riding. and place the towel across the handlebars, like this. And what this allows you to do is to cycle without sweating all over the, if you sweat, people do sweat when they're on here for a long time. It allows you to soak the sweat up rather than going into the handlebar material. In actual fact, salt and aluminium, which these handlebars are made of, are not a great material to combine. It starts to corrode the handlebars and could make them unsafe. So we do insist that you have towels, and also this allows you to mop yourself in case you're sweating on the equipment. And just not too tight. Okay, good, that's enough. So here are my training partners for today. We've got Nico and Patrick, and we're going to have a look at the cap deformento. So one thing you might want to do is to press start, and what this will then do is to load the course in. You don't need to press anything else, because as you start pedaling, it'll automatically start. So I'll go on to the same one. I'm also on the cap deformento. And what you'll see when you're training is that there's 3 people on the training course, and these are us 3 cyclists. So if we start pedaling, boys, should start kicking in. Okay, so we're on. MSF user is in the lead, followed by myself, and Patrick is 31 metres behind. As we're riding along, we get a view of where we are in Spain. Some of the courses are better than others. This is not brilliant, but it's okay. Here we have a very important reading for us. We have our power, how much power we're producing as we're riding here. And this is in watts, so the harder I ride, the more watts that appear. Underneath that is our gradient, so we're going up a 2.3% slope, which means we need to change gear a little bit there. And you can see the slope gets steeper. Next to that is our speed. I'm doing 25.4 kilometers an hour. How many revolutions I'm riding at? And we want to try to stay between 60 and 90. And finally, watts per kilogram. And again, the more power you put down there, the bigger that number will be. The more your watts per kilo is, the quicker you'll climb up a hill. And here, on the left, users near me, that's me, that's Nico, and there's Patrick. So what I'll do is just slow down and let Patrick catch up. Now, if I stop behind Patrick and just stay behind him, it makes it easier for me to cycle because I get an aerodynamic assistance. It's called drag, so Patrick riding behind me, if he was close enough, would have drag assistance. It means riding is easier. Right now we're going downhill, then it goes flat, and then there is a slight uphill to continue. So Patrick's coming towards me now. So if Patrick chucks in behind, he can get aerodynamic assistance from me being in front. But he's chosen to overtake, so I'm getting aerodynamic assistance from him now. Okay, thanks guys.